Hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from Totally Not Mark. I love these character analysis videos and breakdown stuff that he does, and he's gone and done one on Bulma, which is cool because she's been there from the start. She's been there from the beginning of Dragon Ball, been there for everything, and I think Bulma is boss. I mean, for all the women, she married Vegeta, and he is scared of her. Of all the people, like, he is scared of Bulma. Brilliant. She's cool. She's a powerful female character, and it's nice to see. So, let's check this out. Bulma, the female character.
Bulma is an iconic character within Dragon Ball and one of the most well-known characters across the planet.
Yeah.
There are tons of people that identify Bulma as a beacon of female empowerment and others who disagree. I happen to fall somewhere in the middle, and honestly I'm only interested in discussing her role as it's written within the story. The Japanese anime industry has enjoyed a long history of success and worldwide acclaim for the most part, but something I've always kept an eye out for while watching and reading these series has been their female characters and how they fit within the story. Many oftentimes reduced to rather cliche and boring things such as eye candy, someone to save, or as someone's affection to be won. Now, I understand that this is an incredibly divisive topic and simply by the nature of it will be incredibly personal to a lot of people, despite my best efforts to ground and focus this video analysis in narrative theory. With that said, while I will largely be speaking from a story perspective, I will be giving opinions on the topic here and there when it's needed to further the discussion. I'm not looking to infer anything about who she might be as a person, just what she offers the series as it's written by Akira Toriyama. The very same way I looked at Jiren and Zamasu, I want to see how her character has served the plot. Today I will be dissecting and analyzing one of the oldest and most iconic female characters to come out of Japan. Today I will be breaking down the brash, the beautiful, and the genius Bulma.
She's class. Oh, that Funko Pop's coming out soon. No. Oh, cool. Nicely edited. Like it.
I really like Bulma as a character. I'm sure there are nostalgic reasons at play in my mind to create this opinion, but from a narrative point of view, as a personality, I think she's easily one of the most standout and memorable in the series, for better or worse. And whatever your opinion of her, it's impossible to deny that you know exactly what she's like, even if you've only had limited exposure to her. And that's terrific characterization. With that said, I do have some critiques. The first being one of the most common throughout fiction, and that is that she's essentially a plot device. Now, I know that implies she's a husk of a character made to fulfill a specific function within the story, and while she is much more than that, both for great and terrible reasons, which I'll get to later, I do think that she is a plot device within the show. In fact, I'd even go as far as to say that she is primarily a plot device by design. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself here.
Let's take a few step backs.
In storytelling, the goal is to move from one key moment to the next as seamlessly as possible until the conclusion of the narrative has been reached. Oftentimes in stories, characters can get into circumstances that brings the story's forward momentum to a screeching halt. And so, if we keep that in mind, a plot device is an object or character in the story whose purpose is purely to drive the plot forward, maintaining its flow, or resolving situations within it. It could be something
we needed to find the Dragon Balls. Bulma could find the Dragon Balls.
Or an annoying teenager who must be protected at all costs. I did not write this definition. I found it online, and it's as if it was written specifically to make the point that Bulma fits the role perfectly. At the very beginning of the story, she is the character that introduces Goku, the main character, to the Dragon Balls and the wider world. Through the use of her intelligence and gadgets, she bridges the gaps in the plot where necessary, transporting our heroes and solving the problems the plot produces, such as space traversing and even time travel. She is also, quite often, the subject of multiple kidnappings and countless rescues. Now, can a character be a plot device and compelling at the same time? Well, yeah, absolutely. Walter White, being a chemistry teacher, is in some form a plot device that enables the story being told to flow
true, in Breaking Bad,
However, in his case, he is a great character first and a plot device second. So, what makes a great female character? This is a question that's getting asked more and more frequently in recent years as we strive for less one-note female characters. And honestly, it's a strange one to me. The answer to what makes a good female character is the exact same as what makes a good character, period. Now, the answer to this isn't exactly easy to pin down, but in general, if you want to twist my arm for a definition, a good character, to me at least, is one that breeds interest within the story they exist.
Of course.
Walter White is a compelling character that emphasizes the best attributes of Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Goddamn right. Eren Yeager facilitates the most interesting outcomes in Attack on Titan. Goku is a perfect catalyst for wonderful things to happen in Dragon Ball and awful things to happen in Dragon Ball Super. So, what did Bulma bring to the table for this story? Well, a friend of mine took time to ask a few of her friends and other female Dragon Ball fans in the community what their take was on the character. This is what they had to say. At the beginning, Bulma's only motivation was to have a boyfriend. She was willing to use her looks to get what she wanted while manipulating those around her. She was incredibly capable and still is, proving herself proficient with tech more so than any other character. Which was interesting, because in a show that revolves around guys that rely on their physical prowess to get ahead, how can a female role come into play that isn't just the strong girl? Characters like Videl and Chi-Chi began as fighters or physically strong characters within the story, but sort of lost relevancy within the narrative due to lack of utility. Bulma never had such a problem, which is sort of interesting, because back in the early 80s when this story was written, in both the West and the East, female characters were very much prizes to be won by the hero. Mild-mannered, sweet, and in a lot of ways, helpless. So, for the time that she was introduced, Bulma's character having any edge to her at all with any abilities was, in many ways, a win in the direction of strong female character writing. She doesn't want, nor has she ever wanted, a stereotypical life. She might have wanted in the beginning to get a cute boyfriend, but it's a selfish desire of hers, and changing her mind on that was the arc her character underwent in the beginning. Chi-Chi and Videl both get pregnant and seem to solely focus on their kids and lose a lot of what made their characters have more of that focus in the story originally, which was their ability to fight. However, since Bulma's strength lies with her smarts and her sexuality, she doesn't have to necessarily give that up as much after becoming a mother. I mean, Bulma showing up in the Android Saga as a single mother was a massive deal. That's not a thing that's done in Japan, and certainly wasn't back then. And that's just one aspect of Bulma's character people can relate to. Even today, a lot of female fans who love Dragon Ball Z as a teen have to deal with what she's experiencing right now too. We're all getting older. Some of us have kids, and despite it being played for laughs, when the Broly movie and even Battle of Gods drew attention to Bulma's aging, I was honestly amazed, because you never talk about aging in Japan. There's a saying there about women who are Christmas cakes. No one wants you after the 25th, meaning if you're not married by 25, you're seen as past your prime. Honestly, there's a lot to be said about sexuality and its use in media. And of course, each culture has its own unique sexuality issues and morals. Japan just happens to have some of the most interesting concerning sexuality. And you have to take into account the lingering dampening effects of a less progressive and more traditional society, of which Japan, while definitely making progress, is still very much operating under. Is Bulma still used as a sex object? Of course, her body is always on display, and with her sexuality and appearance being part of her strength, aging from a narrative point of view is an interesting part of her plotline, which is something about her character I would love to see come more into play as the show continues. The guys in the show get to stay the same for the most part, their strength only expands, but the very area Bulma relied on to give her some of her strength, her body as an object of desire, is now aging, and how she deals with that could be really interesting, seeing as we never got to see that. For me, personally, the story should always come first, and anything extra should be left out. If a character isn't serving a purpose by conducting themselves in a scene the way that they are, it only serves to bring the story down. This is why I'm not a fan of fan service. Others love it, and many are indifferent to it. I think there's a time and place for everything,
that is so
and from
strange.
the shows
That
I've
animation,
seen,
Food
very
Wars.
few choose their moments tastefully. The most irritating part about this for me is what could have been. Bulma from Future Trunks' timeline has a story more interesting than that which we got from Black and Zamasu. On an emotional level, at least, anyway. In her troubled timeline, her genius is the most valuable trait, as it's the only one that can bring about victory, which plays into the Dragon Ball formula of progression through struggle. Her struggling to get the parts and fuel necessary to travel back in time, to change the fate of that timeline, and to maybe see the person she loves one more time. That's a compelling, emotional story that wasn't touched on nearly enough in the original Goku Black arc, or even in the Android Saga. It wasn't brought up at all in the anime, and was only briefly touched on during Toyotaro's manga. You have a character that's understood by the audience intimately, and you never utilize them to their fullest potential. Now, I'm not suggesting an arc centered around Bulma's antics by any means, but she definitely had more to add to that story than that which was shown, and I honestly think a lot was left on the table that wasn't embraced. Look, my intention for this video is not to act as yet another mindless voice talking talking about representation into the void of the internet. And I'm definitely not someone that thinks people can't think for themselves because a movie or TV show tells them or doesn't tell them how to feel. But instead, this video was made to offer, to the best of my abilities, an explanation as to where I think and others think there are opportunities being ignored and aspects that deserve appreciation. Opportunities for better and more emotionally rich stories that make the most of their characters. I personally want opportunities for better and more emotionally rich stories that make the most of all of their characters. And honestly, there are very few characters as real and as fully realized as Bulma. In asking around for opinions on her character, one aspect of her that many ladies mentioned was how real she felt. In a show full of people who literally couldn't be real, here she is, a very real human being, as flawed and emotional as any of us. Almost anyone else in the main story has something about them that could never actually occur. 3 eyes, their strength, tails, sneezing-related mental disorders, flying. I suppose one could say that inventing capsule technology is not real, and yeah, I guess I see that, but the idea behind that advantage is knowledge and technology. Those are real things. If I wanted to, I could try and become as proficient an engineer as she is supposed to be. But no matter how hard anyone tries, they will never be able to achieve what Goku has. Heck, even Vegeta can't do it, and he's as unbelievable as he is.
Damn.
So I ask, are we getting the most emotional stories from Bulma's character that we can? No, most definitely not. Is there perhaps a lack of enthusiasm from Japan to push in this direction?
Probably.
I would personally think so. And I think that's the biggest problem many female characters and fans of those characters have trouble with today. However, despite this, there's certainly no denying that Bulma is a fantastic character with arguably just as much, if not more, personality than any other character in the series. Which is why I wanted to write this video in the first place. All the stories that could have been told, but never were. And some that we hopefully might hear in the not-so-distant future.
Class, yeah, that'd be nice.
Thanks for watching.
Cool. Yeah. Future Bulma. Would have been nice to get some more of that. Yeah, class. Absolutely cool. I've always liked Bulma. It's cool. It's very cool. So yeah, that was that. Thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. That's all you guys. Next time.